Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Yar, we be sailing the high seas again. It's my last day of cruising and it's a sea day, so we're at sea the entire day here. You can see behind me, it's all water. It's a very nice day. It was a little cool this morning, but it's been warming up real nice, and what a gorgeous day to end this great vacation. And I've got a whole bunch of news to talk about. So first up here, we're talking about a very interesting new project from Acer of all companies. And this one is called the Acer Predator Project DualPlay. And it's basically a controller that is built into the laptop. Now, I took a look at this thing. I've got no idea on the specs and performance of it, but it's a very interesting concept, a very cool concept if you ask me. And I'm hoping here they take the opportunity to use that gap where the controller is to add in additional airflow for the laptop. I mean, I think that would do a great job to help cool things down. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Do you think it's a cool project? Do you think the controller is a waste of space? I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about this one, and I think the whole thing, the success of the entire thing, is going to come down to whether or not the controller is actually usable. If it's a poor controller, why would you buy a laptop with a controller baked in if the controller sucks? So I'm hoping the controller is good here. I'm hoping that the features included are going to be good. But that is putting a lot of pressure on how good that controller actually is. And speaking about good controllers, next up we're talking about not controllers, but a console. And there's rumors out there that the PS5 Pro is set to release this November. Now, we don't have any firm information about this, but I'm assuming as we approach November, the information is going to start flowing. We'll have to wait and see here. I mean, there's rumors left, right, and center. But if the PS5 actually releases this November, my biggest question is what's going to make people actually want to buy this console? I mean, right now, in my opinion, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but the only real good exclusive is Astrobot, and that even hasn't released yet. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I mean, I can understand picking up a PS5, but a PS5 Pro with the extra power here, I just don't think the PS5 library is strong enough. Let me know your thoughts about this one. Let me know if I'm way off base. Moving on, and we're talking about the Sega Dreamcast, and the Sega Dreamcast seems to be getting quite a bit of love recently. I mean, we've talked about GTA 3 being ported over to it. We've talked about the Half-Life Source engine being ported over to it. I think it's the Source engine. Anyways, here, now it appears that Duke Nukem 3D has been ported over to the Dreamcast, and they're already at version 1.5. Now, they're calling this one the Duke Nukem 3D Atomic Edition. And with version 1.5 that's just been released here, they've fixed out of memory, improved game performance, added saving IDE and SD, reworked controls for Dreamcast controller, configured controls for the Xbox 360 controller, added mouse controls and keyboard support. This is pretty big for the Dreamcast. I mean, Duke Nukem 3D is a pretty good game, and adding support for the Dreamcast is amazing. I don't know how I missed it until version 1.5. Next up, we're talking about GameStop, and I'll say we all saw this one coming from miles away. Now, we've previously talked about GameStop supporting retro games and them selling retro games. And a lot of people, myself included, were worried about fakes. And sure enough, fakes have been showing up at GameStop. Surprise, surprise here. So recently, it appears that there has been a fake Pokemon yellow cartridge that has showed up. Now, after taking a look at the image right here, let me know if you can spot that this is a fake right away. I mean, I don't necessarily think the GameStop employees have been trained at spotting fakes, or maybe someone was just careless here, but at the same time, how could you not know by looking at that things do not look right? I'm assuming we're going to see this a lot moving forward, and I'm going to assume that we're probably going to see fake cartridges, or maybe just fake chips inside the cartridge. And then the game is going to be fake, but the cartridge may look real. But I don't know about this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, based on what I've seen with GameStop here, I've got huge concerns with their quality control. And based on previous reporting, I don't think they're necessarily going to open up any game and take a look at it, or at least every game and take a look at what's inside. I mean, it doesn't even look like they're taking a look on what's outside of the game in the first place. I mean, I could be wrong though, who knows? But I will say I'm a big fan of mom and pop shops, and I know mom and pop retro game stores are resellers, but at the same time, The ones I've at least dealt with have been very good. They try to treat their customers well, they try to build a customer base, and they seem to have very good quality control by opening up games and taking a look inside. I mean, their reputation is what matters here. And GameStop is a company that is so big, I don't necessarily think will fail if a few games slip through the cracks and are fake that they're trying to resell. Again, let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Moving on, and we're talking about Nintendo, and there's a brand new Nintendo Switch OLED bundle that's being rumored to be coming out around September 23rd to October 5th-ish. Anyways, it's being bundled with the Super Mario Bros. Wonder game, which I find interesting. I mean, that game came out a while ago. You'd think they'd want to release a bundle with Zelda. I could be wrong, but whatever here, it's being priced at €349. It will include a 3-month trial subscription to their Nintendo Switch Online service. I guess there's a huge push for Nintendo to try to sell a whole bunch of Switches by the end of the fiscal year, which I guess makes sense. But at the same time, is Super Mario Bros. Wonder the right bundle to make here? I mean, they've got a whole bunch of other really cool things. And take a look at this. Holy smokes, there's a dolphin right in front of us. Sorry everyone, I was way too slow on that one and I wasn't able to catch it on camera. The first time I saw it, I was like, I thought I was seeing something. And then I tried to flip the camera over and I was way too slow. And I guess that's technically not a fluff because they're more slimy than anything. I don't know, one slime. I guess let me know your thoughts about how I should classify a dolphin in the comments below. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about the Switch OLED bundle as well in the comments below. Moving on, and we're talking about Splunky 64. And if you hear the word Splunky 64, you might think, well, someone has ported Splunky to the Nintendo 64. And in that case, you would be dead wrong. Someone ported Splunky to the C64. I am not joking with you here. I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. It's up on itch.io. Now, I took a look at the footage here, and in my opinion, it works so well on the C64. If this game was released back in the C64 days, I think it would be one of the best sellers on the system. Although I don't necessarily know if that's saying a whole lot. I mean, it probably sold way more copies today than it would have back then. Next up, we're talking about the brand new Anbernic 406V. Now, I've seen photos of this thing online. I've seen a few videos on it. And in my opinion, I don't want to say it's an eyesore, but it's not the best looking console out there. It looks a little chunky. Anyways, here, Bob Wolf apparently has turned down a review of this, saying it's too similar to other things he's reviewed. I was actually shocked by this one and very surprised in a good way. I mean, we've seen a lot of brand new consoles here, and I kind of wish they would start focusing on quality as opposed to pumping out like 17, 18, 19 different variations featuring the exact same frickin' chip. I'm with Bob on this one. I would say I hope they just focus on making a better device, making improvements to the overall technology as opposed to just pumping out a million of them and just flooding the market with this stuff. I mean, that could be a completely hot take here, but if you've got one chip, you don't need 56 different devices for it. You could have maybe two, maybe a vertical and a horizontal device, and then call it a day, or maybe even a flip. So maybe 3 versions for one chip. I don't know here. That might even be too many. But I see it time and time again where we've got so many variations of different devices featuring the exact same CPU and GPU combo. It doesn't improve emulation, it's just a different form factor. And I wish they would just pump out a device that was very solid from a quality standpoint, and then getting everything they could out of a chip, working with, I don't know, people who are really good at open source stuff to make very good firmware for it and make very good operating systems and just make things solid instead of pumping out a whole bunch of different variations of things. I could be wrong and that could be a very hot take, but let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. But on a side note here, I am a few whiskeys deep, so maybe my opinion is completely off base. And if you picked up a 405V and enjoy it, I'm not saying it's not a good product. I'm just saying here that there's so many similar ones, it makes it hard to differentiate between them. And I don't think that's a really good thing at all. I kind of wish things were streamlined a bit. So if you picked one up, they would support it and make it better for a period of time instead of forgetting about it and focusing on the next version. I mean, we see that a lot with different handhelds, and if there's an issue with them, they just kind of drop it and work on the next one and don't care about it anymore. And if you take a look at even Retroid here, and I'm not calling Retroid out, but Retroid Pocket 4 released this December, and I think shipped in January, give or take, and they're already talking about the Retroid Pocket 5, the Retroid Pocket Mini, and then once they release that, they'll start talking about the Retroid Pocket 6. And I just wish companies focused more on the software side of things and making things extremely good. I mean, if you take a look at the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, they've had like one revision and that's it, and they've really focused on the software and tried to make things a heck of a lot better. And I wish these smaller handhelds would do the exact same thing. Again, I could be wrong here, but at the same time, I mean, there are developers who try to make great operating systems for these devices, and they do a great job of it. And I just wish things got better from a software standpoint instead of a hardware standpoint. But I guess also a hardware standpoint too, because we've got a whole bunch of devices from Anbernic with different names featuring the exact same chip. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'm going to stop rambling and ranting now about it. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff, and no slimes either. We talked about a few things today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.